Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Top Agent Podcast. I am one half of your co hosting team, Ryan Espey, and I am joined by my co host, as usual, Stacey Regula. Stacey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, hanging in there. So, today, what we normally do is bring agents on here, but things are a little bit different today. So, we have Erin Winter with us, and Erin is with the Spooner Group. So, Erin, please tell us just a quick little bit about yourself and the Spooner Group.
So thank you for the introduction. I'm Erin. I work with the Spooner Group. So Tracy Spooner, Taylor Spooner, and myself started the Spooner Group 2 years ago, and now we have, I think, 18 agents total there. And so we do all kinds of residential financing, refinancing, all of that kind of mortgage lending. And we also do a lot of commercial lending as well. We work with, 50 plus lenders across Canada, as well as, credit unions and private lenders. So we do our best to make sure we have everyone covered.
Okay.
Nice.
So, I want to dig into that's where you are now. So, what we like to do is dig into a little bit about your history. So tell us, what was life like previous to this career for you? What is your background?
Well, so previous to being a mortgage broker, I did work at a big bank. I enjoyed it. I really loved certain aspects of it, but I did, want to, find a career that there wasn't the same ceiling in that there would be in a bank. And, I wanted to be self-employed, and I really, really, really wanted to be able to, to help people and to make a difference. And I feel that with, banking systems today, there's not a lot of solutions for people if, they don't go out and find the information themselves. And so that was something that I really wanted to be able to offer to people.
Nice.
So geographically speaking, what area would you service?
Well, I am licensed in BC as well as Manitoba. I'm located in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So, Winnipeg and the surrounding areas, I can meet you in person. If you are located elsewhere, I'm happy to jump on a Zoom call.
Well, that's awesome. So you guys have a big area you cover then, which is great. So when you transitioned over, what changed for you from going to a bank or to a mortgage broker? What was like the big change for you life-wise?
Well, that's a great question. And I feel like the only constant in life sometimes is change. So I don't have like a really strong kind of like bookend between careers. I always, was really busy outside of work as well. And so I feel like it did kind of flow naturally. I did enjoy, the flexibility in my, as a mortgage broker. I do have a family with 2 children. And so I really loved being able to, to be a little bit more hands-on with them. I also, love the ability to meet my clients in the evening, kind of around their schedules.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be invited into their homes, I'll meet their kids, I'll meet their pets, that kind of thing. And that is really enjoyable as well. But the actual lifestyle change, I don't feel like there was a really dramatic one, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely nice to get like more personal with people. Like I know we get to do that in our jobs, and I do have some friends that work in banks, and they're just, they're in an office. They don't really get to go out in the community. And
yeah.
And I have taken some bankers out to see some houses, and they get all excited. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, I never get to go to houses that are for sale. I only get to look at them online. So
that's really funny. My first house call ever, their dog bit me.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
And they're still my clients to this day. I've done their son and their daughter's mortgage as well. And I love it. But I just remember being like, not nervous, but just like wanting to like put such a good face forward, like walking into their house. And then that was like the start of it all. Was like,
but it led to a lucrative arrangement for you.
oh,
So
and they are so nice.
the
Yeah.
rule here is always put your hand out to the dog and see what happens.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So seeing how we're going down the path a little bit, we talked about banks versus mortgage brokers.
Mhm.
If a client were to ask you what would be the advantage of using yourself over a bank, what would you tell them?
Well, so I think that there's like so many reasons, but the two, main reasons, in my opinion, are, any bank or lender, they're going to have a very specific type of clientele that they're looking for. And if you don't fit into that box, career-wise, credit-wise, they're not going to, potentially be able to fulfill your financing needs. And they're also not going to be in a position to offer solutions because they're only skilled in offering the products that they have available to them. And so I, will be able to look at many, many different lenders' options and be able to find one that's going to fit with, my client's specific, financial setup and then their needs kind of going forward as well. I think the second reason, which, never hurts to be said again, is just that I work for my clients for their best interests. I don't win until they win. I don't get paid until their mortgage funds.
Yeah.
And so I'm very, very motivated to ensure that each and every one of my clients are happy, that they hopefully want to send their friends and family to me when they're done. And that, if they ever need something down the road, that I'm their first phone call.
Yeah.
And so, bank employees maybe get transferred around. They maybe are not motivated by the same things that motivate me. And truly my client's satisfaction and happiness and, financial success is the most important thing.
That's a very eloquent way of putting it. They may not be motivated by the same things that motivate me. I like that statement a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, do you have any advice for buyers that you'd like to get out there? I know right now we're going through a bit of a different change with the market, but just overall advice for buyers.
Yeah. So of course, the first thing I would suggest is make sure you have a pre-approval. I have, clients that, we've completed a pre-approval and maybe they're looking for a rental or maybe they're looking for a different type of property. And I will continually rerun the numbers for them as they're house hunting, just to, working on different scenarios. So I find that, that is definitely something that's good to address beforehand, but secondly, we were kind of chatting before the podcast started rolling and, both of you had mentioned that you're starting to see some good kind of deals, if you want to call it that, on the market, some homes that are priced a little lower than they have been previous to now. And so I think that there's really good options for people to get in, without the crazy competition that we've been seeing recently, to secure that home at a lower price. And maybe the interest rate is a little bit higher, but truly compared to the last couple of years, like those were unsustainable rates. And so the rates now are sadly a little bit more normal, and so we've just been really spoiled.
Yeah.
Do I think they're going to come down again? I do, and so what I'm suggesting to a lot of people is, to either select a shorter term from the start and so that you can, renew when rates are lower again, or, if you think that you're going to be building equity in the property that you're buying, we can ensure that we arrange your mortgage with a lender that has a low penalty to break your mortgage, and then you can refinance your home and lock it into a lower rate, a year, 2 years down the road. And so I just think like the amount that people are saving with the lower price point is, by far more beneficial than the slightly higher mortgage rate.
Yes.
That's an excellent point, because I feel like people are scared of a higher mortgage rate, but not realizing that it's balancing out with the price of the home they're buying. They're not
Yes.
paying $75,000 over ask anymore. They're
Exactly.
saving money up front, but they're scared of that mortgage rate,
Yeah.
failing to see both sides of that equation.
Yeah. And in addition to that, I think that the market is giving clients the ability to request the inspections.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
Financing conditions. And so if you think of like the vast number of likely both of our clients that put in offers without inspections,
Yes.
And so, just like from a ratio perspective, there had to have been surprises for many of them. Like it's just when buying a home, that's how it works. And so for them to even be able to think of the money that they're saving, being able to do that up front now, I think that is like a huge asset in this market.
Yeah. Well, and spending, roughly $500 on a home inspection, to me is well worth it.
Well worth it.
You get, if you have a quality home inspector, you have 2-3 hours now that you're at the home, wandering around with the home inspector, learning about the house, versus when times were a bit different and it was 20 minutes, walk through the home, write an offer, 80,000 over, and hope for the best. I don't know about you, but it made me nervous. So
it made me so nervous.
Yeah.
Especially for, clients who were really maxed out at that point, And so like they were buying at the top of their pre-approvals because they had no choice. If they didn't, it was maybe the area that they didn't want to live in, or they were sacrificing other things. And so, I think everything you said is so true.
I'm reluctant to say this, but it also allowed for some houses that probably should have had a home inspection sold quickly.
Of course.
And, now that's the Winnipeg market. I'm in a different one. However, some listings I saw in the Winnipeg market, I was like, oof, this one should have a home inspection and some reductions, but it just flew off the market.
Yeah.
Buyer beware at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Stacey, what else do you got before we get into the fun ones?
I think that's pretty good. I'm really happy with everything. Like, you've given us a lot of good information. So
all right. Well,
look
Erin,
forward to working with you.
We have some questions that we ask all of our guests. And
amazing.
Yeah. What is your favorite movie?
Movie. Oh,
didn't see that coming.
No, I love the movie Big Fish. Have you seen it?
Yes, it's one of my faves as well.
One of my favorites. I watch it probably yearly at the lake. And
I've not seen it.
I love it.
Stacey, shame.
I have the DVD if you'd like to borrow it.
Okay. Is it a kid's movie? Should I be watching this?
It is not a kid's movie.
No,
but it is not a kid's movie.
Yeah, it's just a bit slower moving. Like, it might not captivate them depending on age, but there's some really whimsical components they might like.
Interesting. What is your favorite thing to do when you're not being a mortgage broker or watching Big Fish?
Yes, I renovate my house. I have like 100-plus-year-old house that.
Oh, wow.
I've been renovating forever, and I have 2 horses that I ride. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you have your horses at your property, or do you board them somewhere?
I board them near to Birds Hill Park.
Nice.
And so I'm really lucky. I can ride right into the park and go on all the trails there. And
nice. I had a house that I could have sold you right across from the park.
Oh, no, I saw it, Stacey. I saw it after the sold sign went up, and it was like the week that we had lunch, and I was like, oh, I wish I would have known to ask about this.
Sorry.
It's a beautiful location, though. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one day I'll end up out there.
The next question is very similar to my first question on this path. What book has had the most influence on you?
Oh, you know what? It's a book called Mindset.
Oh, I've heard about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have to I'm making a list because we ask everybody this question, and I just need to probably start using Audible because I just don't have time to read, or I feel weird when I just sit down and read at home. I'm like, I should be working.
Right. So. Yeah. Do Audible. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I need to start doing that.
With the amount that we drive, that's what we should be doing.
Yes, especially being rural real estate. I'm on the road a lot, and I know Ryan is as well. So
yeah, a little education while you drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the hardest question of the day, the single best piece of advice you've ever been given.
Oh my goodness. So I feel like a lot of things come to mind, but I know that kind of two things that I, try to pay attention to a lot. I don't know who originally gave me the advice, but just to trust your gut. I say this to my kids. I say this to my clients, you'll know, just trust yourself. And the second thing I often will say, if someone's really trying to make a decision, I'll just say, what's the right thing? What there's always one right answer. And if you're really trying to make a difficult decision between, important things in life, that's usually the easier one because it takes the stress out of contemplating the other. Maybe not as applicable in the housing market because there's not usually one right house, but that kind of goes back to the trust your gut, because I always tell clients, you'll know when you walk into your house, you will feel it and you will know. So
that might be my favorite question that gets asked of people on this show. And someday I'm going to go through all the past episodes and just make a compilation of people answering that question.
Yeah, and the book question. Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for today, Erin, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, both of you.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and we will be back next week with another episode. Erin, once again, thank you for coming on, and Stacey, thank you to you as well.